Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning and welcome to Story Time. Thank you for joining me today. As always, happy that you're here with me. Thank you so much for joining in. Happy Tuesday, wherever you're joining us from. I am glad you're here. I hope that it is going well. Yes, indeed, baby Pia. I hope that you continue to feel better. I'm so sorry that you're not feeling well today. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm glad you're here, though. I hope that you've fallen back asleep, or indeed will be falling back asleep as we read to you. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. To everybody that is joining in as well, please let me know you're here. Let us know you're here. Send us in your message, and so we can say good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here. We do have a wonderful book indeed. As you have seen, we have a great lineup coming up, and of course, I hope you enjoyed yesterday's book, our first time on Story Time, and that one was, yes, Like a Baby. It was beautiful indeed. And today we do have another one that is just sweet, and hopefully will have you swaying and sauteing everything that you can do. And this one is called SWAN, The Life and Dance of Anna Pavlova. And of course, this one is written by LAUREL and illustrations by Julie MORSTAD. And you know that LAUREL has brought us many books, including one that we've read here on Storytime, and we had for you Hungry Jim. I don't know if you remember this one, but we did bring it to you as well from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. And you know what? If you remember, there's a book I read a while back, not too long ago. This one, 10 Ballet Dancers by Amanda Malik. And I had to go back to this one and polish up some of my ballet language there. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I hope we're ready today to move like a swan. Yes, indeed. The Life and Dance of Anna Pavlova. And this one by Laura Snyder, and illustrations by Julie MORSTAD. And of course, we're reading it with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Thank you so much for being here today. A lovely book awaits. And of course, thank you for your wonderful company here today. Thank you so much for being here. Please let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. I hope that you have your cozy spot ready and ready to enjoy a wonderful story indeed. Let us see who is with us this morning, ready to enjoy a beautiful story. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for being here. Oakland is lighter today. It is actually brighter out than it's been the last couple of days. So I'm happy with that. More light, yes, indeed. And it seems like it will be a good day, not too cold. Good morning to you and welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. Baby Bia and Amanda. Baby Bia, we're sending you hugs. Hope you feel better, sweetheart. Thank you so much for joining in, and I hope that you can fall back asleep too. Thank you, and to you, Amanda, as well. And you know, this is just a reminder to me, and I'm sure to all of us out who might not be parents yet, and just thinking too of all the things that parents do, the amazing things that you parents do out there. Respect to you. Thank you so much for everything that you do for our little ones. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Bia, sending you love, and Amanda as well. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Yes, indeed. Good morning from very cold Vermont. It's -6 degrees. What? And here I am at 45 thinking it is cold. Thank you so much for joining in. Oh my goodness. Bowden, oh, I cannot. I don't know how you do it, but thank you for being here on Storytime. Please do stay warm. I am glad you're here. Bowden from very, very cold Vermont today. Thank you so much for joining in, and he's excited to cozy up with this story though. Oh, absolutely. Thank you for being here. It is indeed one to cozy up for. Thank you so much for joining in. Chrissy Mitchell Adams, thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here. Good morning to you, Amanda West. How are you doing today? And of course, Sarah and Nathan. I love that. In Illinois. That is a good one. Thank you so much for joining in. And I don't think I've heard that one before. So definitely something new for me. Thank you so much for sharing in. Sarah is so excited for today's story. Well, I am excited too, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. She has enjoyed reading a different book about Anna Pavlova and is ready to learn more. Oh, absolutely. Thank you. And please, if you know anything else that we missed today, share it out. Let us know so that we can share some more. Thank you so much for sharing that information. Sarah, absolutely excited for you as well. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you one more time, Amanda West, Nathan, and Sarah. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Good morning. Good morning to you, Catherine Juhel. Oh my goodness. Yes, indeed. Good to see you here on Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. And you say happy New Year to everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining in. And you are saying -6 Fahrenheit in Virginia. We're in need of sweetness. Oh my goodness. It is indeed cold out there. I will not complain about my cold on this side from now on. Thank you so much for joining in. Oh my goodness. Oh yes, some cold weather out there. Thank you so much for joining in. Chriselle, are you keeping track of this weather on this side? Kennedy Kapolio Kampamba, how are you doing today? And you say good evening. Well, thank you so much for joining in, my brother. I am glad you're here joining us from Istanbul, Turkey, where it is evening right now. I'm glad we could be with you for your dinner time story. Is there such a thing? Yes, we'll make it a thing. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And you say it is very cold out there. Well, thank you so much for joining in. Can it match Catherine's? Oh, indeed, Bowden's at -6 degrees. Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank you so much for joining in. Kennedy Kapolio Kampamba, absolutely appreciate you. Chriselle, good morning to you. And of course, Clay, Rocco, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining us out in Long Beach, California. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you. Rikia, right here in Oakland. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. We're about to get started with this one. SWAN, The Life and Dance of Anna Pavlova. And this one is by LAUREL SNYDER and illustrations by Julie Mostad. And we're reading it with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Do join me on the other side of this message. We will be right back. Get comfortable, get cozy. We'll be right back in a little while. Thank you so much for joining in today.
This is Anika Moroz-Reese, author of The Teacher's Pet, Watch Out for Wolf, Love Sophia on the Moon, the Anna Banana chapter book series, and Hide and Don't Seek and other very scary stories. And you are watching Storytime with Mr. Lamata.
Thank you so much, Anika. Thank you for joining us, everybody, on Storytime. And if you've not seen Hide But Don't Seek, you definitely should see that one. It is indeed a fun one. We've been enjoying it in our classroom. All right, here we go. Today's story, SWAN. This one, The Life and Dance of Anna Pavlova, and it is written by LAUREL SNYDER and, of course, illustrated by Julie Mostad. And we're reading it with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. And as you know, this is a book from 2015. Oh, yes. Here we go. Who's that? SWAN. LAUREL SNYDER, Julie Mostad, and read with permission of Chronicle books of San Francisco. The city is big. Anna is small. The snow is everywhere and all around. Oh, is there snow where you are? Is it all around? But one night, Anna's sleigh slips up the street. Her face is cold. The world is dark. Mama smiles. Where are they going? Ain't all that cold. Where are you going, Anna? Then, the lights. The lights! Something is happening. There is a swirl of strings, a scurry of skirts, a hiss and a hum, and a hush. It's all beginning. What is beginning? Where are they going? The story unfolds. A sleeping beauty opens her eyes. Oh. And so does Anna. Her feet wake up. Her skin prickles. There is a song suddenly inside her. Now Anna cannot sleep or sit still ever. She can only sway, dip, and spin. Now Mama hums into her soup. Now the snow skitters, just so at the window. Now the squirrels stop to watch. At last, Mama nods, and out of her house, Anna goes into the world of people, tall people, and oh. What do you think happened there? 2 years drag, each sliding slow. Anna stretches, bides her time. Shirt, laundry. Shirt, laundry. Even the squirrels lose interest. Oh my. Will Anna get to her dream? But this time, oh yes. Yay. Oh, way to go, Anna. The work begins. The work. Up and down, and to and fro, and third position, and back and turn, and on and on. Again. Oh, are you trying out those moves? Up and down, and to and fro, and third position, and back and turn, and on. Again. Oh, until one night she takes the stage. Anna becomes a glimmer, a grace. Everyone feels it, and the lamps shine brighter. The room holds its breath. It shouldn't be that she should be this good, they say. Her legs are too thin. Her feet are all wrong. And oh, those toes. She is only a girl, so small, so frail. But see her face, her flutter. Anna was born for this. Oh. Yay. For 5 bright years, the dancers swirl around Anna. The curtains rise and fall. Finally, she steps onto the stage alone and sprouts white wings. A swan, she weaves the notes, the very air, into a story. All those sitting see, they stare. Anna is a bird in flight, a whim of wind and water, quiet feathers in a big loud world. Anna is a swan. Oh, I love this part. For 5 bright years, the dancers swirl around Anna and the curtains rise and fall. Finally, she steps onto the stage alone and sprouts white wings. A swan, she weaves the notes, the very air, into a story. All those sitting see, they stare. Anna is a bird in flight, a whim of wind and water, quiet feathers in a big loud world. Anna is a swan. Beautiful indeed. Across the globe she sails. There are furs and riches, kings and queens, pearls to be worn, toasts to be drunk. But it is not enough. Anna remembers a small cold room, a lonely girl at a window. Shirt, shirt, laundry. Shirt, shirt, laundry. Somewhere there are people who haven't heard the music. Anna sails on, forests and plains, sprawling cities and tiny towns. The world is a hungry place, and Anna will feed it beauty. Across bull rings and the warped boards of dance halls, she moves everyone. The sick and the poor come to meet her boats and trains. They cheer her and are cheered. Oh, yes. Anna walks in the rain, sleeps on the floor. She is a queen, a dragonfly, a ghost, a bit of snow, and again, and best of all, the swan. When people throw flowers, Anna tosses them back. It is enough just to dance. Oh. Of course, always the tour ends. The boat docks. The train returns to the station. And there are pets and people, meals and meetings, hearth and home. But not the home Anna remembers. Home is gone. Anna won't return to the snowy city. There has been a war there. A war. Everything has changed. Sleighs no longer jingle, though the streets, sleighs no longer jingle through the streets of Petrograd. Anna builds a new life, a different fairy tale. Oh. Anna, always giving. Until a chill finds Anna, hunts her down, alone, without her boots and mittens. A wind, a cough beside a stopped train, a rattle she cannot shake. Oh. Anna tries to waltz away, to spin and sway. She will turn and turn and turn from this, she thinks. If she can just keep dancing. She calls for her feathers, but But every day must end in night. Every bird must fold its wings. Every feather falls at last and settles. Oh, thinks Anna, if only every dance could end in such sweet applause. Oh. The end. And there's an author's note at the back that I thought I should read to all of you too. So please stick around for this one as well. And it says, from the author, Anna Pavlova was born in 1881 to a struggling laundress. It was a hard life, and Russia under the Tsars was generally a world where the poor stayed poor. Anna's life should have been dismal. But one night, Anna's mother told her, "You're going to enter fairyland." As the two climbed into their sleigh and sped off to the Mariinsky Theater, there Anna heard Tchaikovsky's music for the first time. She watched the dancers step out onto the stage, and her life was changed forever. Anna knew what she wanted to do with her life. In order to become a dancer, her mother warned her, "You will have to leave your mother and become a pupil at the ballet school." My little Nura would not like to forsake her mama, would she? In Russia in those days, ballerinas were trained at boarding schools, and Anna had never been away from her mother. But Anna's hunger to dance was fierce. So when she was 8, she auditioned for the Imperial Ballet School. She was turned away because she was still too young. She had to wait patiently for another 2 years. When she was accepted at age 10, Anna discovered that while she was graceful and had a natural gift for dance, her body was far from ideal for ballet. Dancers at that time were sturdy and acrobatic. Anna was thin and frail, with a weak back and severely arched feet. That made it difficult for her to go up and point. The other girls at the school made fun of her for being so thin, calling her names like the broom and many others. But Anna refused to let anything stop her. She worked hard and reinforced her ballet shoes to help her stay up on her toes. In fact, the shoes dancers wear today are modeled after the shoes Anna constructed for herself. In the end, her frailty lent itself to a different sort of dance, a more dramatic, romantic, evocative style. Anna trembled and moved lightly. She danced the lead role in all the great ballets, Giselle, Les Siffords, The Sleeping Beauty, and especially The Dying Swan. As no one had seen them dance before, she went on to become a very famous ballerina. Many believed she was the greatest ballerina of all time. But as extraordinary as she was as a dancer, Anna's real contribution was that she believed ballet was for everyone. At the end of the 20th century, ballet was a European art form, and it belonged exclusively to the wealthy. But ballet had changed Anna's life, and she felt it could do the same for other people. She set out to share her art, traveling the world and performing in some very odd places. From bullfighting rings to the backs of elephants, she shared her gifts with the poor as well as the rich. She inspired people everywhere she went. Then, in the winter of 1931, Anna's train collided with another and came to a sudden stop. She went outside and walked the length of the train in her pajamas to find out what had happened, but she caught a cold, which turned into deadly pneumonia. Though she wanted to keep dancing, Anna was far too ill, and for the first time in her life, she had to miss a performance. In her fever, she called her swan dress as though she might perform, but it was not to be. Anna died that night. Her last words were, "Play the last measure very softly." When I think about Anna Pavlova, I think of her SWAN. But much more than that, I think of all the girls and boys and everyone else who love ballet. I think of all of us, millions of us, all over the world. Me too, says the author, pulling on our ballet shoes, laboring in the smells of sweat and crushed rosin. All of us reaching for beauty and indebted to Anna, who led the way. Aww. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. I hope you enjoyed that one. That is indeed the story of Anna Pavlova. And if please there are any other bits that you love to share with us, please do. But indeed, this one is called SWAN, The Life and Dance of Anna Pavlova, and it is by LAUREL SNYDER and illustrations by Julie MORSTAD. I hope you enjoyed it, and this one comes to you from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. I am glad you were here to enjoy this one with us. It is indeed a beautiful, beautiful story. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for being here today. Let us see who was with us enjoying that story indeed. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you, Miss Ingrid. How are you doing? And you say you were just in time for the story. Thank you so much for being here. And you say, when you have a dream and work for it, thanks for sharing this story. Absolutely. And I love too that she went on to inspire others, went out of her way, remembering where she came from and remembering that other students, other kids, other people out there needed to see that, needed to hear, see her talent, see that, and so they could be inspired as well. Absolutely love it. And this is why we keep coming back. It is so important that we introduce our young ones to different arts, and the schools should be also the places that we do that. Introduce many arts, introduce many things, different things, so that our students can be exposed to as much as possible and hopefully can find their way in there. So thank you so much for joining in. Let us continue, please, demanding that our school systems, wherever we are, our leaders, please fund education, bring in programs that are important for our children, that are important to all of us. Let us not only limit, things like music, dance, and everything else to the wealthier communities. No, everybody should be exposed. Every child should have an opportunity to learn. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I absolutely appreciate the time that we spent together, and I hope that you enjoyed this one. SWAN, The Life and Dance of Anna Pavlova. And of course, Sarah, I hope that you learned something new from this one as well. I know you already have read some books about Anna. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Absolutely appreciate it. Please, we're not done. This week is all about the young ones, all about the resilient young people out there who have many dreams, and let us do what we can to nurture those dreams. Yes, sometimes we have to wait like Anna did. You wait on your dream, but when they do happen, please let us continue watering those little ones so they can grow and sprout into magnificent giants. And tomorrow, please do join in for this one, The Tiny Giant, and see where an oak comes from the tiny seed it comes from, to the mighty jungle that it becomes. And yes, let us continue doing that for our little ones too, because indeed, like they say, there is a saying in one of the tribes called Bemba in Zambia, and imiti kula empanga. The seedlings of today are the jungle of tomorrow. So let us make sure that we take care of our little ones and indeed help them sprout. Thank you for being here on Storytime. Absolutely love it. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Absolutely appreciate you. Indeed, Chrissy Mitchell, you say yes. Thank you for the important reminder and call for action. Every child should have access to the arts and creative opportunities. Thank you so much, Chrissy. Absolutely love it. And on that wonderful message, indeed, powerful message, please out there, if you have this way, let us continue pushing. And even if you don't, please write the letters, because they are important. Call your leaders, talk to them. It is the only way that we can get things moving. moving. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. Absolutely love the time that we spent together. I will see you again tomorrow when we are back for the Tiny Giant. Yes, indeed. This week, celebrating our little ones, our resilient little ones, and making sure that we're leaving a world that is beautiful for them. And indeed, they are doing so much right now in making this world a better place. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope that you join us tomorrow for another story. And I hope you enjoyed learning about Anna Pavlova. A great week that we have for you. Please do join me again tomorrow for more story time. Much love from me. Thank you so much. Kennedy, thank you for joining in. Yes, indeed. Kennedy from Turkey, thank you for joining us. I hope that you have a wonderful day. To everybody that joined in story time today, much love to you. I will see you again tomorrow for more story time. Please do send me your recommendations if you have any, so that we can bring them here to story time. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And if you're like Kennedy, your day is ending, I hope that you have a wonderful dinner, a great meal, stay warm, and indeed thankful that we have places to lay our heads, places to shelter. Thank you so much for joining in story time. Please do spare a thought for everybody out there that does not have the things that we do. And of course, if you can, donate, spend your time, donate, share in places, and so that others can also have a meal, can also have a life. Thank you so much for joining in story time. I am glad that we were here together, and I will see you again tomorrow for more story time. Thank you so much. Much love. I will see you. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, you won't just start all the reading. I just can't wait to be hearing. Story time. Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, you won't just start all the reading. We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, you won't just start all the reading. We just can't wait to be hearing.